What if I told you that you have already lived tomorrow? What if the future is not a distant place waiting to happen, but a memory you have not yet accessed? What if time itself is not what you think it is? You have experienced this. That dream that came true days later. That sudden flash of knowing what someone would say before they said it. That déjà vu so strong it stopped you in your tracks because you absolutely knew, that you had lived this exact moment before. You dismissed it. You called it coincidence. You moved on. But deep inside, a question lingered. How did I know? Today you will find the answer. Because the ability to perceive the future is not a gift given to a chosen few. It is a forgotten sense buried within every human being. This is precognition, the soul that remembers tomorrow. And it has been trying to speak to you your entire life. Let us begin by understanding what time really is. You have been taught that time is a straight line. Past behind you, future ahead, present in between. One moment leads to the next in an orderly sequence. But this is not what physics tells us. Einstein proved that time is relative. It bends. It stretches. It changes depending on speed and gravity. At the quantum level, particles seem to communicate instantaneously across vast distances, as if space and time do not apply to them. Some experiments suggest that particles can be affected by measurements that have not yet been made. The future influencing the present. This is not science fiction. This is published research. And it points to something the mystics have always known. Time is not a line. It is a field. Past, present, and future exist simultaneously, like pages in a book that is already written. You are simply reading it one page at a time. But your soul, your higher consciousness, can flip ahead. It can peek at chapters that your waking mind has not reached yet. This is precognition, not predicting the future. Remembering it. Ancient cultures understood this deeply. The Oracle of Delphi in Greece delivered prophecies that shaped the fate of nations. The seers of Egypt were consulted before every major decision of the pharaohs. Indigenous shamans around the world journeyed into altered states to retrieve information from times not yet born. Hindu scriptures speak of trikalajnana, knowledge of the three times past, present, and future, as a natural ability of the awakened soul. These were not superstitions. These were technologies of consciousness, ways of accessing information that exists beyond the narrow window of the present moment. And you carry the same capacity within you. You always have. The only difference between you and the great seers is that they trained this ability while you were taught to ignore it. So how does precognition actually work? Your conscious mind is limited. It can only process a small fraction of the information available in any moment. But your subconscious mind, your energy body, your soul, these operate on a much vaster scale. They are connected to what some call the Akashic field, others call the quantum field, and others call the mind of God. This field contains all information. Everything that has happened. Everything that is happening. Everything that could happen. When you sleep, when you meditate, when you enter altered states of consciousness, the barriers between your small self and this infinite field become thin. Information leaks through. You receive impressions, images, feelings about events that have not yet occurred in your linear experience. Most of the time, you do not notice. The information comes as a vague feeling, a subtle unease, an unexplained pull toward or away from something. But sometimes, especially when the event carries strong emotional charge, the information comes clearly. A vivid dream. A waking vision. A knowing so certain it feels like memory. Research has documented this phenomenon extensively. Dr. Dean Radin at the Institute of Noetic Sciences conducted experiments where participants were shown random images, some calm and some emotionally intense. Their physiological responses, heart rate, skin conductance, brain activity, were measured before the images appeared. The results were remarkable. The body began reacting to emotional images up to 10 seconds before they were shown. The body knew what was coming before it happened. Similar studies have been replicated around the world with consistent results. Your nervous system is receiving information from the future right now. You are simply not aware of it. But with training, you can become aware. You can learn to read the signals your body is already receiving. Dreams are the most common doorway to precognition. During sleep, your conscious mind steps aside. The filters that normally block subtle information are lowered. Your soul is free to wander, to connect, to receive. This is why so many precognitive experiences come through dreams. Abraham Lincoln dreamed of his own assassination weeks before it happened. Mark Twain dreamed of his brother's death in precise detail before receiving news of it. Thousands of ordinary people have reported dreams that later came true, often with shocking accuracy. These are not random. These are downloads. Information transmitted from the field into your sleeping consciousness. The question is not whether you receive such information. The question is whether you remember it when you wake, and whether you trust it enough to act on it. Now I will share with you a practice to develop your precognitive awareness. This is called the Dream Gate Protocol. It has been used in various forms by seers, shamans, and mystics across traditions. Here is how you do it. Before you sleep, prepare a notebook and pen beside your bed. As you lie down, take 5 deep breaths. With each exhale, release the tensions of the day. Let your body become heavy and relaxed. Now speak an intention, either aloud or silently. You might say, "Show me what I need to know about tomorrow." Or, "Show me guidance for the decision I am facing." Or simply, "Show me what is coming." Do not strain. Do not demand. Simply ask with sincerity and then release the question. Let yourself drift into sleep naturally. When you wake, whether in the middle of the night or in the morning, do not move immediately. Lie still with your eyes closed and let the dream images resurface. Even fragments matter. Write down everything you remember, no matter how strange or meaningless it seems. Do this every day for at least 21 days. Over time, you will notice patterns. Some dreams will carry a different quality, a clarity, a weight that sets them apart from ordinary dreams. These are the precognitive ones. Learn to recognize their signature. And most importantly, track what happens in your waking life. When a dream detail appears in reality, note it. This builds trust. This strengthens the bridge. This tells your subconscious that you are finally listening. But precognition is not limited to dreams. It can arise in waking states as well. Sudden flashes of knowing. Unexpected images that pop into your mind. A feeling of certainty about something you have no logical reason to know. The key to catching these moments is presence. The more present you are, the more you notice. The busier and more distracted your mind, the more these subtle signals get lost in the noise. This is why meditation is essential. Not just for calm, but for clarity. A still mind is a sensitive mind. A quiet mind can hear the whispers of tomorrow. Practice moments of stillness throughout your day. Even 30 seconds of closed eyes and deep breathing can create an opening. In these gaps, pay attention to what arises. Not your thoughts about the future, but impressions, feelings, flashes. These are the seeds of precognition. Now here is something important to understand. Precognition does not mean the future is fixed. What you perceive are probabilities, not certainties. The future is not a single road, but a web of possibilities. Some paths are more likely than others based on current trajectories. Precognition allows you to see these trajectories. But you still have choice. If you see something you do not want, you can change course. If you sense danger ahead, you can take a different path. This is why the power is so valuable. Not because it tells you what will definitely happen, but because it shows you what might happen if nothing changes. It gives you the information you need to make wiser choices. It turns you from a passive passenger into an active navigator of your own life. The greatest seers were not those who made dramatic predictions. They were those who used their insight to guide, to heal, to protect. They understood that knowledge of the future carries responsibility. If you see something, you must decide what to do with that seeing. Sometimes the right action is to warn. Sometimes it is to prepare. Sometimes it is to simply trust that you will know what to do when the moment arrives. Precognition is not about control. It is about alignment. Aligning your present choices with your highest possible future. Aligning your steps today with the destination your soul is reaching toward. As you develop this ability, you will notice something beautiful. Life begins to feel less random. You start to sense the flow beneath the chaos. You recognize that there is a pattern, a purpose, a direction to everything. And you realize that you are not separate from this pattern. You are part of it. You are weaving it with every thought, every choice, every breath. The future is not something that happens to you. It is something you participate in creating. And now that you can glimpse it before it arrives, you can create more consciously than ever before. In the next chapter, we will explore a power that moves from seeing to doing. The ability to channel life force energy for healing. To restore balance in yourself and others. To become a conduit for the infinite source that flows through all living things. Energy healing. The hands that restore. But for now, practice the Dream Gate Protocol. Trust the flashes. Honor the feelings. Begin to remember what has not yet happened. Because once you realize that time is an illusion, you are no longer bound by it. You become timeless. You become free. And you step into the flow of existence as a conscious co-creator of everything that is, was, and ever will be. Welcome to the eternal now. Welcome home.